Good evening, everyone. Well, I'm Mrs. Parrish. I'm the sixth grade school counselor, but we're gonna go ahead and have our wonderful, proud principal of LMS to go ahead and begin for your welcome for tonight.
All right, I'm so excited. I heard so much about the families that we're going to be getting next year. So all of us are looking forward to next school year. So tonight actually formally begins our relationship together as school and home partnership. Tonight is a very special occasion where we get to come together and talk about your child's educational journey. If you're like me, I remember when my children were in sixth grade, I was so nervous, but I was also so excited to start a new level. And so we know that you're what you're feeling, even if this is more than one child that you've had come through middle school, we know that this marks a milestone. So we are here to help you with that process. Our vision for students is that they will become lifelong learners. We want middle school to be so exciting and so engaging for them that they look for additional opportunities to become involved in our school community. We want to partner with our students so that they know that we are here as a resource to help them to be the best that they can be. But we realize that middle school children are not finished products, and we're going to work as hard as we can to get the best out of them by the time that they leave us in eighth grade. I do want to ask for a commitment from all of our parents. As you're listening tonight, we want you to think about at least one way that you're going to get involved and plug into the school program that we have for next year. We oftentimes hear middle school parents saying, I don't know where I'm supposed to fit in, or my child is saying that I don't need to get involved. Well, we are here to let you know we need you to get involved, and we need you to stay involved. We need you to ask those amazing questions that you ask, but most of all, we need your presence. Presence at community activities, presence at meetings like we're having tonight, and presence at home, just asking questions about your children's day. But we need you, and we want you to hear that tonight. You'll hear that many times as the school year goes on. But we expect to have an awesome year. We've heard nothing but great things about the families that we get to inherit next year, as well as our students. And they are bright stars because we met them already when they visited our campus. So we know that we are going to have some awesome Mustangs who will be scholars in just a few short years. So once again, welcome to Parent Night. It's such a pleasure meeting you. I'm so honored to get the opportunity to lead you in this work. We thank you for your partnership, and do not hesitate to reach out. You will have an opportunity to ask questions through the chat and then at the end of the program. So again, thank you for being here, and we will turn it back over to our awesome sixth grade team. They are ready to present.
Hello, once again, my name is Michael Doyne, and I am the Parent Instructional Coordinator of Lilburn Middle School. You may have received emails and text messages from me about this meeting. I'm just really fortunate, feel very fortunate to work in this school and with this community, and look forward to working with you over the next 3 years.
And welcome. I am Ms. Fowler, one of the sixth grade assistant principals. I'm glad that we have so many of you all on here today. I see some names that I recognize. It's good that you're here. You're already taking the first step of this transition by being a part of this meeting. We are a family here at LMS. So anytime you need anything or your student need anything, we're here for you. We are a team, we work together. So welcome to our family, and we look forward to working with you.
Hey guys, Ms. Furtney here. We are so very excited to have you tonight on this call. We're going to be sharing some great information for you guys and for your rising sixth graders. Like Ms. Fowler said, we are a family. We're going to take good care of your students once they get to us. But I'm just so happy that you took the time to get on this meeting tonight to get some important information before they start in August. So thank you so much, and we're excited.
All right, and again, I'm Mrs. Parrish, the sixth grade school counselor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're looking forward to another great year of sixth graders and being able to spend sixth and seventh, eighth grade with you all. Just enjoy. We're ready for your students, and we know that you're going to make the best, and we're going to work together so that your kids can be successful. Thank you for coming. and Ms. Noller. We're going to go ahead and kick.
It's taking me a minute to get the unmute off.
Okay.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. I'm super excited to be working with our parents and our students this next year. So I support attendance and help to ensure that our students are making the most out of every day. And it's an awesome school. So I'm excited to share it with you.
We do have Miss Cologne. You'll see her picture at the bottom. She is our 6th grade Academy Office Clerk. She is awesome, and she will take care of any attendance notes or any issues that students have when they come to us. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. So here is our agenda for tonight. After this agenda, we're going to jump right into important information when we're transitioning to 6th grade, all kind of important information. Then you'll learn a little bit more about connections. We will talk about our special education department, our ESOL department, and our gifted department. We will give you 12 keys to middle school success. Then our counselors will give some very important information to help your student be successful in middle school. And then we're going to wrap up with Mr. Doyne, giving us great information about the Parent Center and all the ways that we at Lilburn Middle School can support you. And then we're going to close it up with Dr. Irish and Miss Fowler. Here we go.
Mr. Dawn, before we get started, do you want to go over again the instructions before we move on, since we had some people added on?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Fowler. So, and I'll say this in English and Spanish. We do have interpretation options with us this evening. So we've got Mr. John from who's speaking Spanish for us, and Miss Doan, who's speaking Vietnamese for us. And thanks, Ms. Fertney, for putting the instructions on the screen for how our guests can find the interpretation options. Basically, you're looking for the icon of the globe, and then you'll select Spanish or Vietnamese from that to be able to listen to the Vietnamese or Spanish channels. Entonces aquí tenemos las opciones para escuchar esta presentación en español o vietnamita. Básicamente está buscando el icono del mundo para seleccionar español o vietnamita en esta reunión.
All right, so we're going to talk about the school hours. So coming from elementary to middle school, we start later than the elementary time. We start our school hours are from 9:20 to 4:05. After 9:20, students are considered late. So we want to make sure they get in here on time. Students are usually excited about starting middle school, get to sleep in a little bit later, but after 9:20, they're considered tardy. Students may not arrive prior to 8 a.m. Only time when they can arrive at 8 a.m. is if they have tutoring or a teacher requesting to come in. So they have to have permission or appointment in order to come in 8 a.m. before the 9:20 time. Well, 8:50 will be the time that they actually come in. Student checkouts are not allowed after 3:15 p.m. So if you plan on checking out your students, please make sure it is before 3:15. All right, and it's Ms. Fertney.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to take a moment to talk about the difference between two-man team and a four-man team. So when middle schoolers come to Lilburn, they will have a team of teachers. Usually, if they're on a four-man team, they'll have a math, language arts, social studies, and science teacher that makes up their team. If your student is on a two-man team, they'll still get the 4 content areas, but each teacher will teach 2 content areas. So one teacher may teach math and science, and the other teacher on the team may teach social studies and language arts. So a little bit different. Your student will still get all 4 content areas. They'll just have 4 teachers versus 2 teachers. Okay, let's talk about lunch. So each year it's very important that we fill out a free and reduced lunch application. If not, then you will be required to pay for lunch full price for your students. So it's always a good idea just to fill out that form to see if you are eligible to receive free or reduced lunch. That way, we're not paying for lunch if not necessary. So on this screen, if you have your phones out, we can scan this QR code and it will take you right to, hopefully you can see that, it will take you right to the application needed for free and reduced lunch. Again, this is not required, but it is a good idea to do just to make sure to see if you qualify or not. So please take a moment to scan that QR code. You will also have an opportunity later, but it's always best to get it in as soon as possible. Okay.
All right, so let's talk about transitioning between classes. So students will transition between classes on the Bell schedule, and they usually transition within their hallway. So they don't have to really walk all the way across the building unless for connections. That's the only time when they might have to go across the building. But for their core courses, they're usually on the same hallway, and they just transition within that hallway using our Bell schedule. When students transition, we ask that they're transitioning silently in a straight line to their next classes. And that's very important because we do have to, repeat those instructions throughout the year. But if you can help us by making sure that your students understand that they should be transitioned silently, that will help a lot. Bernie?
Yes, sorry, the mute button keeps getting me. We haven't used Zoom in a while. Okay, so once students reach us and they're in 6th grade, in order to be promoted to 7th grade, they must pass 5 out of their 6 classes. And 2 of those must be language arts and math. Now, I know we just mentioned a couple minutes ago that you're gonna have 4 teachers, right? Well, we have 4 content areas: math, language arts, social studies, and science. But then students will also have 2 connections classes. And we'll talk about those in a few minutes. So out of their 6 classes, 5 must be passed, and 2 of those must be language arts and math. Okay, students do also take milestones, but the promotion criteria considers class performance.
Okay, and then looking at the grading scale that goes with those classes. So 90 through 100 is an A, 80 through 89 is a B, 70 through 79 is a C, and 0 to 69 is an F. If they have an F or receive an F, they did not pass that course, and that could be considered one of the classes that they did not pass out of the 6 classes, the 5 classes that they need to pass. The 6 out of 5 classes. Okay, y'all know what I mean. So in order to help support our students, we do offer different services. So we have tutoring, which we have different days that they can come in for tutoring for connections or for their content areas like math, science, social studies, and language arts. We have iSuccess, which is offered on Tuesday right after school. You would just come pick them up after they're done with iSuccess. And that iSuccess is where they can make up any missing work. So sometimes students are not passing because they have not completed the work within the classroom. So iSuccess is something that they can attend just to complete any missing work. We also offer MMIP, which is Mustang Mastery Intervention Program. And this provides support for our students who are missing work. No, I'm sorry. I should have updated this slide, sorry. This supplies support for students who are currently needing more support in a subject area or standard. And so we'll pull these students based on their iReady data or their DA scores or their milestones from the previous year since they're coming in from 5th grade. And we'll use that data to see if students need support in the current content that they're taught. And we work on that current content to help them pass and be successful that semester, each semester. And it's offered twice a semester. We also have AAP, which is a program that our students who did fail one of our content areas, who failed the class, of course, they will have to come in and they pay $100 to get that credit recovery. So AAP is a credit recovery. So that way students can recover that grade that they did not pass for the first or second semester. All right, this is my baby. All right, so this year we are offering more sports at our school. So we want to give our students all the opportunity for extracurricular activities, because we know that once we increase student engagement, we also see that their scores within the classroom, the behavior within the classroom, also students become better within the classroom, and their academics, I'm sorry, let me slow down, academics. So we are offering, this year we have sports that we're offering for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So we have basketball, cheerleading, cross country, soccer, and volleyball. All of the sports are tryout sports except for cross country. Right now, volleyball is only offered to the girls. But then maybe your child is not into sports. Maybe they would rather do some type of club. So we have drama club, yearbook club, Layla, campus life, robotics, cooking clubs, and we have so many more. We have, like, this year we had over 30 clubs that students can join. And if your student is interested in something that we don't offer, they can let us know, and we can find a sponsor to have that club for our students. We want to make sure that our students' interests, we have everything available that our students might be interested in and want to try. All right, so our summer camp dates. So we do have some summer camp dates for our upcoming sports. So we have cross country, which is June 17th, 18th, 20th, 21st, and the 24th, and it's only $10. It will start at 7 a.m. and this sport starts in the fall. We have soccer, which is June 20th to 21st. It's $15. It's 9 to 11 a.m. and this sport starts in the spring. Cheerleading is June 20th to 21st, and they also added another date, which is the 18th, and their cost is $30, and it's from 4 to 6 p.m. and their sport starts in the wintertime. We have basketball, which is July 15th through the 17th. It's $60, and it's from 9 to 2 p.m. and that one also runs alongside cheerleading in the wintertime. At our school, we do allow, if we have a girl basketball player who wants to do both cheerleading and basketball, we do allow them to do both. They can have the basketball game with the girls, and then during the boys game, they usually go to cheer for the boys team during that time. Volleyball, their camp is to be announced. And just to let you know that all sports, our students are able to play all sports. They run at different times of the year, or if they're in the same season, they have different dates. They don't have the same date. Okay. All right, and if you would like to join one of the summer camps, the summer camps, you would just scan this QR code and then find which summer camp you would like to join. We still don't have the dates for volleyball yet, but all the other sports are listed on rank 1. I'm sorry. Rank 1 is not, rank 1 is not that. Rank 1 is where you have to upload your physicals, I'm sorry. And we'll talk about physicals in a few minutes, but rank 1 is where you have to input your information, your medical information for your child, and this is where they will upload their physical, because every sport you have to have a physical in order to work out, try out, or play.
So, Ms. Sala, do you recommend that they go ahead and download that app if they're interested in their child being a part of sports?
Yes, you can download the app, or you can wait till afterwards. We'll send out this same link to everyone, and they can get it that way as well. Now, GoFan, that's the one. Okay, so GoFan is, now you can scan this one and you can go ahead and sign up for the summer camp. So GoFan is where we do most of our transactions when it comes to paying for the games, to get in games, whether it's camps, whether we're going to add now where you can actually have the concession stand on there. So all these items that you will have to purchase, we're going to start going through GoFan for our sports. And this is what the physical looks like. A physical, if your child already had their regular yearly checkup, then they can just submit this form to their pediatrician, and they will fill it out and complete it. The child might not even have to go back in. And if they already completed their regular physical, then the doctor would just sign off and saying that they are okay to participate in any sports. You can also go to urgent care. They usually charge about $35 to get the physical completed. Or we're going to have someone come in during the winter to do the physical at Liburn Middle School. But if your sport is before then, or if you plan on attending the camp, we ask that you go ahead and get a physical before then.
Okay, guys, we're gonna transition back to the school day, okay? So this is a big one, parents. Cell phone usage. A large majority of the issues that we deal with at middle school originate with cell phones and social media, okay? So while it is your prerogative to allow students to have social media accounts, at school, we do not allow cell phone usage, okay? And so what your child will be asked to do if they do bring a phone, the phone has to remain in their book bags, and we place book bags in the front of the classroom. So if you're worried about, you know, your child not having their phone on them at all times, then we recommend don't even let them bring it to school, okay? Because it will not be allowed to be on their body. So please, we ask your support with this. We are all about teaching and learning and helping your students be as successful as possible. And we don't need cell phones for that, okay? So please make sure that either they keep their cell phones at home or they understand that they will not be allowed to have them on their person during the day. Okay, is this Dr.
Dr. Barney, yes.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our rising sixth graders. I am serving currently in the role as discipline coordinator at Liburn Middle School. And so what this means is that we have Gwinnett County Public Schools that publishes a student discipline handbook each year. And what we like to do at our grade level teams, we like to have the assistant principals cover those student code of conduct rules on our morning announcements as you're getting started with school. We also like to have grade level talks where we talk to sixth grade, seventh grade, and eighth grade, so all the grades get it as we talk about our expectations for behavior and learning and safety in our school. So we make sure that the GCPS rules and guidelines for discipline are clear and consistent across all of those grade levels and our schools. So as we are looking at this, we want to let you know that there will be a student parent handbook that you can read and carefully review the student handbook with your child, okay? Also, please note the dress code and discipline consequences are different from the elementary level. So as we are in middle school, we want to make sure that we are adhering to a professional learning environment. We don't allow sandals, Nike slides, right? We don't allow sagging of pants for our boys. We want to be able to teach our children that are moving on to high school eventually, and being able to have more opportunities out in the world on field trips, how to dress professionally so that they are ready for high school and beyond. So all of this information is on the school website.
Okay, guys, so let's talk about the clinic for a second. And I'm pretty sure that these procedures are the same at the elementary school level as the middle school level. But please be reminded that if your child requires medication throughout the day, the student cannot carry that medicine on them, okay? We ask that you complete an administration of medication request form and deliver that form along with the medicine yourself to the front office. And then we'll be able to administer that medication. But without that form, your child will not receive any over-the-counter or prescription medication from our clinic. Okay, and please be reminded that we're trying to keep all of our students here to learn all that they can. And so we ask that your child is fever-free for at least 24 hours before returning to school after being sick. Once they get to school, we ask that they turn an absent note to excuse that absence. But when the students get here, we'll teach them about that process. Attendance. Okay, so in Gwinnett County Public Schools, we follow
She's trying to unmute. I think she's
Yes,
trying to
I'm about
unmute.
to try to, yeah.
Yeah.
You there, Ms.
you-
Noller?
Me.
Can you unmute? Okay, there.
Okay, yay. Right. Hi, thank you so much. I really am trying to unmute. I appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity. I, of course, think that this information is some of the most important you're going to hear all night. And it is talking about attendance and making sure that your children are here to learn every day. And we want them here every day. Yes, we want them fever-free. Yes, we want them healthy. But yes, we want them here. So we do have a rigorous attendance policy that is by state law. All children between the ages of 6 and 16 are required to attend school, whether that be public school, private school, or homeschool program. They are required to be in school. By state law, too, a student that has more than 10 unexcused absences is considered truant, and we don't want to ever get to that point. We definitely want students who are absent to make sure that they're bringing in notes when they come back to excuse those absences. In our classes, attendance is taken for every class. So we heard Ms. Fortney talk about our 6 classes that we have. So every one of those, including your homeroom, so really there's 7, teachers are going to be taking attendance every day. So it's really important that they're here. They have to be here for at least half the day to be classified as present for the day. So just keep that in mind. So when there's like doctor's appointments and dentist appointment, it's really, if you can schedule those early in the morning or really late in the afternoon so that your child is getting the most of their day here at school. Reasons why a child would be excused is if they are sick, if they are, if there's court, if there's an emergency with the family where there might be a death or an illness within somebody in the family, those would all be an excused absence as well. So why does attendance matter? Well, it's so important because this is how our students get their consistent, high quality education. They are not going to learn if they're not in the classes with the teachers. They are the ones who've been trained for years and years to deliver this awesome program. And so your students need to be in the classroom to get it. Regular attendance helps students develop good work habits because all of our employers, including Dr. Irish, wants her employees every day at work when they're healthy, on time. So this teaching our children, to go to school every day and to be on time, gets them ready for the world of work. And then good attendance, of course, correlates with better grades in school and then getting into, graduating and even getting into college. So that's why it's so critical. What I have found, though, is that here are some of the things that go along with missing school. Our students who have chronic absenteeism, so those are the ones who have 10 or more unexcused absences, we're seeing that they are failing their classes often. So they're more likely to need summer school or that AAP class, or they could potentially be retained. They struggle to participate in the classroom because they don't know what's going on. They didn't get the material that they needed in order to be successful and to ask questions and participate. They feel disconnected from their peers because the other kids are in school and they're missing out on all the good gossip that happens during a day. And then lastly, they're statistically, unfortunately, more likely to drop out and not graduate high school. So that is why attending school every day is so important. This next slide, I'll finally be quiet for you guys. Just give some quick tips on how to encourage our students to be here every day. So number 1, making sure that they get and have a regular bedtime. Establish that nighttime routine, making sure that those alarm clocks are set. Next, making sure that the technology, they're going to have a Chromebook next year, making sure that that's plugged in at night, making sure their phone is not near their bed. Use use a real alarm clock. They still exist. Prepare for the next day. Get those clothes already picked out. Nobody wants to be there looking in the closet or trying to find their favorite shirt at the bottom of the pile of laundry. Make sure that book bag's packed up and ready to go so we're not forgetting things in the morning. Parents, email the teachers to communicate if your child's sick. So they might have some things that your child could be doing during that day, even while they're at home. Avoid, like I said, scheduling, well, vacations for sure, but doctors and dentist appointments during the school day. Talk to your child's teachers, the administrators, the counselors, if you feel like your child needs support. We really want them here, and we don't want there to be any barriers for them coming. So if you need counseling, if you need administrative support, if you need teacher support, all you got to do is ask. Everybody's very willing. Make sure your contact information is up to date. So that is really, really critical so that we can reach you when we need you. And then lastly, check your child's attendance in Parent View. You guys, I look forward to working with you this year. Thank you.
And I think we're back at Dr. Bernie for the specials versus connections, right?
All right, and here we go. So in elementary school, you have those classes outside of the core content areas, okay, that are called specials, right? These classes might include music, PE, art, and computer lab. In middle school, the classes outside of the core content areas are called connections, right? So middle school often has also additional classes for students, which might include PE, health, your visual art, theater arts, technology, foreign language, reading and math supports, the Junior Leadership Corps, or our JLC, which kind of helps to prepare you for high school ROTC, and our fine arts, band, orchestra, and chorus. And not only that, with our connections classes, they also help in supporting with our SEL, social emotional learning, and ELT extended learning classes as well for students each day. So, orchestra. So we have our stringed instruments. We have the violin, the viola, the cello, and the double bass, the upright standing bass, right? So in our orchestra, this is a class where you have a chance to opportunity to learn how to play a stringed instrument, learn how to read music, learn how to grow your music reading skills and your sight reading skills. You will grow as a musician as you study about different genres of music and composers, and just enjoy learning how to compete in LGPE competitions. So the 4 instruments that you can choose from are violin, viola, cello, and the bass. In chorus, we have the great opportunity to grow as a singer, make beautiful music, and have lots of fun. We have a wonderful chorus teacher that arranges for LGPE competitions. You'll learn proper vocal technique, choral setting, working on performance and audience etiquette, and all the things that make you become a better sight reader and singer vocally. And how can we forget about band? So this is your saxophone, your flute, your clarinet, your woodwind instruments, your brass instruments, trumpet, trombone, tuba. We have students that have the opportunity to learn how to read music and also play instruments on that end. So you will have several concerts throughout the year, not only with band, but also for orchestra and for chorus, and also be able to do LGPE competitions as well, and even take an end of the year field trip with music in the parks, and being able to celebrate your accomplishments at the end of the year all together. Junior Leadership Corps. Here's a picture of our retired military expert here, Sergeant Diaz, who brings his military experience to our Junior Leadership Corps. This helps to install discipline into our children and learning how to get them ready for following orders. We have drill team. Our Junior Leadership Corps students always place very high and very well in our drill competitions. And so it covers a variety of topics with leadership, communication, health, and physical education. Theater arts. We have a great theater arts program with Miss Bryant. She has her own theater area here. And that way you get to work with costume, and you get to learn about stories. You get to learn about how to build self-esteem and learn how to project that voice with an audience. So public speaking, confidence, teamwork, improvisation, and so much more. So the 6th grade theater class is year-long and has a few in-class performances. Students will learn about how to work the stage, improvisation, analyzing scripts, and introductory performance skills. So with connections, you can select a year-long or semester-long connection. Semester meaning like from fall to December for the fall, from August to December, or January to May, and they might switch, right? Or you can do something year-long, okay? Like JLC might be a year-long connection. There's a QR code that was sent home earlier this year so that students and parents can select a year-long connections course. So you can choose from those following options. But please only use those links if you have not already picked a class or classes. So in order to do that, you see the QR code here. You have band, chorus, orchestra, JLC, and theater. And the QR code is right over there to the right.
And Dr. Bernie, we've had quite a few rising 6th graders sign up for our year-long courses. But
Okay.
at this time, we have chorus and orchestra still available.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So get your spot quick if you are interested in chorus or orchestra.
And that also brings me to another department that's very close to me, is special education, right? And so special education is not only myself as the special education assistant principal, but the incomparable and wonderful Mrs. Julia Perry, who has been in special education here at Lilburn Middle School for some years and does a wonderful job in supporting our students. So what we like to do is include our students who may have those disabilities in the least restrictive environment, right? And we like to help strengthen those areas of growth and also maximize their strengths. We also provide access to a rigorous curriculum, and we make sure that we meet the needs of our exceptional learners and their families' goals with academic and behavior supports and access and exposure. It might be to connections, it might be to community field trips, Special Olympics, but we make sure that there is learning and dignity across the hallways and in the classrooms. We have co-teaching experiences. We promote excellence and provide that free and appropriate education. And as we are getting ready to get our students ready for high school, we do all that we can do to make sure that they are ready to go. You want me to keep going?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, the way that we do that is by using some Quality Plus strategies across our classes here. So previewing content vocabulary, using word walls, and you have some links here for you to see. Differentiation of the instruction, how we summarize our learning, our writing across the curriculum, how we like to utilize graphic organizers, graphs, manipulatives, and advanced organizers. We have an increased use of current technology as well. And you already heard me mention about our extended learning time, or ELT. That's also supported through some of our connections teachers and classes. And we also make sure that we keep providing those experiences as we must in order to meet their needs in co-teaching and collaborative settings. So what we offer here at LMS for the programs are the areas served. For the moderate intellectual disabled student, or the mid, we have the MOID, and then we have the mid, the mild intellectual disabled. We have specific learning disability, which is SLD, and any other health impaired students. We also provide speech and language services. We have 2 services here, and we have interrelated resource classes that are at every grade level, okay? So we have monitored students receiving these services in the gen ed environment, okay? We collaborate with students previously successfully taught within that co-taught setting. And we make sure that they are moving where they're supposed to be. We're making sure that they're meeting their IEP goals. We make sure that we have those meetings, those re-evals every Wednesday. We also have 2 self-contained units. And we also have other considerations for our co-taught students. thinking about mainstreaming them and preparing them for the co-taught environment. We make sure that we are making sure that they are prepared for that, especially as they are entering high school.
Okay, good evening. I would like to echo what all of our other presenters have said and just welcome you all to Lilburn Middle School. Welcome to this Rising Sixth Grade meeting, and I'm so happy to be joining you all this evening. My name is Japrita Washington, and I serve as the assistant principal of our ESOL department. We have quite a few students in our building who are receiving direct services from the ESOL department. And what that basically means is that these are students who are in some instances new or relatively new to the United States, or they may have been here for quite some time and are still working toward full language proficiency in English. And so because we have such a dense population at Lilburn Middle School, we offer a few different ways to serve and support our students. One way that we have available for our students who have the most linguistic need is by way of our EL or ML Academy. This is a special team that we have available on each grade level where we place students, especially those, as I mentioned, who have the greatest language needs. So these may be our newcomers who are relatively new to the country. And again, some of those students who may have been here for a couple of years already and are still working toward language proficiency. But those classes have a bit of a smaller class size than the other classes on their grade level so that they can receive some specialized support. They also will be scheduled for a language development class. Some of them will have it on a daily basis, in addition to a bi-weekly basis. They'll have support by way of ELT, extended learning time in the morning, and also a scheduled language development class that will be a part of their weekly schedule. In that class, they learn specifics about language development that are not particular to any given content. Ms. Furtney's already mentioned the 4 main content areas that we have in middle school, but the language development it's cross-curricular in that it's teaching students language and it's not specific to math, science, social studies, or language arts. It's more about the language itself. On those teams, we have teachers who are certified in their content areas as well, of course, so those students are getting rigorous instruction, but in a way that is more accessible for them as they continue to learn the English language. For some of our students who've been here for a longer time or are closer to approximating a native English speaker, we have push-in support, which means that those students have an additional teacher in their class. We typically offer this by way of our language arts classes and our math classes. And those students, as I said, would have a second teacher in the classroom who would be able to work with them by way of small group or even large group instruction to make sure that they're understanding and tracking with what's going on with the lesson, and that their language barrier, even though it's smaller than some of their other peers, that they're still getting some supports that they need. And some of our students, especially those who are dually served between our ESOL department and the special education department that Dr. Burney just spoke about, those students will be served by way of connections as well. It's the same language development course that I mentioned a moment ago, but it's just offered by way of connection. So we work diligently to make sure that our students feel welcome, to make sure that they're comfortable and have unmatched learning experiences every single day, even as they're working to learn English. So we're so looking forward to welcoming them next school year. And again, we're happy to have you. Good evening.
Good afternoon and hello, Mighty Mustangs. I am Angela Cooks and I am the proud and excited assistant principal over our gifted and talented program. And I say proud and excited because I've been working with the gifted and talented program for about 7 years since I've been at Lilburn Middle School. And within the last 3 to 4 years under the leadership of Dr. Irish, we are consistently growing the program. And we're excited about that because it takes a focus. And when we say focus, that means additional time, money, people, additional resources to kind of find the students for the program. And so we're excited about the commitment that has been given to growing this program under Dr. Irish's leadership, and all the resources that have been placed there. We are seeing a lot of growth. I don't do this alone. I do this with some phenomenal people. First of all, Dr. Shalini Kawathu, she is our gifted lead teacher who administers all of the testing for the students to be qualifying for the gifted program. Ms. Brooks also supports this process as well. We have some phenomenal counselors. Miss Parrish, who is our 6th grade counselor, Miss Edwards, our 7th grade counselor, Miss Berger, our 8th grade counselor. And they come in and support students in the areas of academics and socially and emotionally on an as-need basis. Again, we are very proud that we've pushed our population from 8% up to about 11% of our student population in our gifted. This year alone, we've identified about 62 students. And out of those 62 students, about 45 of those students have so far met the criteria for placement into the gifted program, and they will begin receiving services next year in our gifted program. So what is the gifted program? The gifted program is designed to serve students who demonstrate advanced intellectual abilities. So the students who are participating in this program receive education in their content-based classes, and they're receiving those classes at an accelerated rate in the content, in the pacing, and in the process. And so the curriculum focuses on 5 areas: cognitive skills, creative thought, research and reference skills, communication, and metacognition. How are the students selected and evaluated for the gifted program? There are 2 ways. The first way is through an automatic referral process, which basically goes on our student academic scores. Currently, we're using the iReady platform, and if a student scores 90% or higher in reading and math, they're automatically identified for evaluation into the program. The second way is through referral just from a knowledgeable person, and that person can be the classroom teacher as well as the parent. We may have some teachers who are saying, oh my goodness, every assignment that I give to this student, they're returning it with just excellence, and just the creativity, the communication is just above average, or more advanced than some of the average students that we are working with. And you as a parent can say the same thing, that, oh my goodness, my kid is the way he communicates, and he's demonstrating some excellent creative skills, and I would like to have them tested for gifted. Those are the 2 ways that they can be identified for placement, or identified to get tested for the gifted program. So those students who are referred will then go through an evaluation process where they are tested and screened in 4 areas. The areas are mental abilities, achievement, creativity, and motivation. And so the students have to qualify in 3 of those 4 areas to meet the qualifications for the gifted program. Some of the testings that we use, or the platforms we use, is COGAT. I think a lot of you are probably familiar with that. There are some other tests that can also be given for achievement, or for the processing, how the students process information. And then also we have gone to using more so this year and a few years, the student developed portfolios, where kids can place information in portfolios that demonstrate their creativity. And so through those pieces of evidence, we show those 3 out of 4 areas so that they can get qualified for the gifted program. Once they meet that program, they're all housed on a team together. In our 6th grade, we have teachers, Miss Ellis, who's our language arts, Miss Nicoletti, Miss Luna, and Miss Valencia. In 7th grade, those teachers are Miss Wright, Dr. Higgins, Miss Fredericks, and Miss Smith. And in 8th grade, we have Miss Brooks, Crow, Miss Carr, and Miss Jabot. And that pretty much is an overview of our gifted program. Again, welcome again, and we are looking so forward to seeing your students join our family as 6th graders in the 24-25 school year.
Hi, I am Miss Salazar. I am a 6th grade math teacher on Team E, and so I myself, along with Miss Tuff, our science teacher, will talk about the 12 keys to middle school success, so tips for rising 6th grade parents. The first thing we would like to share is on the first day, I don't want to say the first day, but at least the first week of school, we should be supplying the schools with a kit of materials, so like pencils, color pencils, pens, notebook, and folder. We do also encourage that you have some internet access at home, because a lot of our classwork and homework and ways to study and review will all be put on online, and it's great that we're one-to-one. So when you come to our school, please make sure that you ask for a hotspot if needed to help with our internet access. We have parent view for communication. So this helps us out a lot tremendously, along with a new thing I believe Gwinnett County is offering this past year, which is Parent Square. It is easy access, at least for Parent View. It is a one go-to location for needed information about your students' education. You can access their grades, assignments. You can see their attendance if they're marked absent, and communicate with us, the teachers. There is an in-portal translation in multiple languages. So I speak English. So if you speak Spanish or any other language, it will automatically change it for you, which is amazing. And it is available 24/7. Open house, conferences, and APTT. These are great ways for you to meet your teachers and for you to communicate with us, especially open house. It is our first way of getting to meet you. It provides a time for you to meet the teachers, see the school, the hallway. I know for a lot of rising sixth graders and parents who have their first sixth grader coming to LMS, they want to see the school, see how big and beautiful it is. You get to preview the learning expectations for our students. We typically have these on the walls. We'll share flyers if needed. And then we have conferences. We will discuss with you'll discuss with the child's teachers about progress in school, about any behavior or any academic concerns that we have. There is one conference per semester, so around October and March, halfway through. This is on an as needed basis. As much as we would love to meet with all of you, understand your concerns, we do typically have on average 120 students that we teach every day. So we only have to kind of keep it down to a selected few. So this would be if there are major academic concerns, behavior concerns, we would try to do that. Where APTT is our academic parent teacher teams. We had started rolling this out this year. It's been amazing for parents to get to come see the school and talk to the teachers about what they're doing. You learn strategies to help your child succeed in school, and we talk about our iReady scores that we take in the beginning of the year and how to help improve. All right, and then we have where we encourage you and students and family and friends, everybody to join PTSA for Lilburn. This strengthens the family school partnerships. It also supports student activities by raising money throughout the school year. So we have international night, counselors, care team, Valentine's Day dance. We also have fun-a-thons. This all goes to PTSA approved activities. Typically $10, maybe a little less every year. So we encourage that one-time payment to help afford all this fun engagement for the students.
Hello, I am Ms. Tuff. I am one of the sixth grade science teachers at LMS, and I will continue with the presentation. Each student will receive a student agenda book. This is typically given out about the first week of school. The student agenda will be used to keep track of upcoming assignments and tests. Students are also able to log in important dates and events inside of their agenda, and it is a great mode of communication between the teacher and the parent. So you can always feel free to leave a message in the agenda book for your child's teacher. LMS, we are engaged with literacy. We encourage each student to read for at least 30 minutes each night. Research proves that reading for at least 30 minutes each night can increase a student's reading stamina. It can build their reading comprehension skills. It can increase their vocabulary, and it can open their mind to new experiences, both real and imaginary. We encourage you guys to establish daily or weekly check-ins with your child's teacher. This can help to cultivate a healthy and safe space to share information about each other's day. We encourage you to have these weekly check-ins with your student to enter their minds, see what they're learning at school, ask about their learning standards for the week, and basically see what your child is learning throughout the week. Social media. If you allow your child to have a social media account, please monitor their usage and set limitations. Here are a few tips for parents. Use parental controls, monitor your child's accounts, talk to them about social media, and we encourage you to use the think rule. Before you post, Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? School websites. We encourage each parent to become familiar with the school's website. We encourage you to use it each day. Check out information. There's always information listed on the website. You can have access to the e-class pages, parent portal. There's a link to the staff directory, our newsletter, and information about student enrollment. Thank you for your attendance. We hope these keys to middle school success will be beneficial to both you and your student.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Tuff and Ms. Salazar. I really appreciate that. And again, I'm Mrs. Parrish. I'm the sixth grade school counselor, and this is going to be our counselor quarter. And we want to be able to help support, give tips, advice, assistance, and some guidance to your students. The first thing I want you to know is that there's a summer math and reading assignments that will be posted on the LMS website. Just kind of like throughout, now till, almost summertime, to go on the school website in order to find out what those assignments will be. Also, if you check in with your local library, they have summer programs where just encouraging reading as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and that your children can make sure they stay involved in reading. And they also have where they might get some popsicles after they read so many books or what have you. So definitely, you can go ahead and scan that QR code that's there to find out more information about the local library. And if you don't get it here, make sure you call your local library, because we want to continue and making sure that your students are learning and being able to read for at least 20-30 minutes throughout the summertime. One of the things besides just, academics is very important. I taught for 16 years, so I know how important, and just to be a counselor, academics is very important and behavior is very important. But as we know, as adults, we know that our social and emotional well-being is important also. So that's what the counselors are here for. We're here to make sure that we continue to strive to make sure your students are well socially and emotionally. Now, what I don't want to do is get us confused with mental health counselors. We're not mental health counselors. So if we find out that things are a little bit more deep and they need to dig deeper, we will give community resources on a list that you can go ahead and seek out more counseling. Also, we have Apex here at the school where the student can get service at the school. But what just making sure that we understand that we are school counselors and that we can help your students a lot on surface. One of the things that we do here at Lilburn Middle School is we have a social emotional, and we're so proud of our social emotional program here at our school. We use character building in order to help students be successful. 5 components of social emotional learning is self-awareness. We want to develop that in students. We also have social awareness, self-management, relationship skills, and responsible decision making. And not only do we want to make sure that counselors are providing the service, but the teachers also do that. And parents, we want to work with you all to make sure these same things are done. So if you go on the parent and community resources site right here, and it says go to LMS, and we're not going to do that right now, but just kind of like a view of these are the things that are provided here. So it says community available resources after you go to parents, and then we have like a little welcome sign here. And these are some of the parent resources that we have for tips for parenting during times of crisis, ADH resources, developmental characteristics of middle school students, reach the unmotivated students, social and emotional learning, and then of course over here community resources. Again, we have counseling and mental health assistance, additional resources. And one of the things I do want to make sure that I let you all know that even with the list of mental health services, I just want to make sure that you all understand that we are actually providing this list for you, but we can't say that we're endorsing, and nor do Lilburn Middle School or the Gwinnett County actually provide the fees and the money source for these services. But we just want to make sure that you are meeting your students' needs. And here it is right here, page right here is just a QR code to actually get on that community resource page. But again, if your kids are not doing well socially and emotionally, it's hard for them to focus on teaching and learning. So we want to make sure that we partner together to make sure that we take care of the whole child. And the same thing with us. We want to make sure that we are all well so that, we can work together to make sure that your child is very successful. And the last thing I would like to talk about is how to stay involved in your child's education. The teachers, Ms. Salazar and Ms. Tough, they actually said some of the things, but get to know each of your students' teachers. That is very important that you all get involved, stay involved in their education. Request meetings with the teacher to see how your child is doing. It's okay, ask questions. That's what they are there for. Visual check to see if your child's completing homework. Some children, they'll say, oh, I don't have any homework. I don't have any homework, Mom. Make sure, to get on that portal and make sure that, you see whether your students are actually doing their work. Keep informed about your child's grade and text results. Ask for help if your student is struggling academically and encourage your child to ask for help when needed. We really want the students to be able to advocate for themselves. Read all information on school policies and curriculum carefully. Contact counselor when needed. Review your child's school records each year. Attend events promoting school programs and opportunities at the beginning of the school year, and be there to support your child at his or her performances, academic competitions, and sporting events. So we would like for you to be involved in everything we do here at Lilburn Middle School so that your child can be successful students, successful learners, and citizens. Thank you.
You, Ms. Parrish. I'm just really grateful to work with Ms. Parrish and everybody at this school. Thank you for what you do to support our school. I know it's sort of a long list here, but some of the things have already been mentioned. I do, just because that Parent View app and the Parent Square app are so important, I'm going to put those in the chat one more time. Again, my name is Michael Doyne. I work in the Parent Center at Lilburn Middle School. So there are those two applications that have been explained to you. Just like Lilburn Elementary School, Rockbridge Elementary School, Nesbitt Elementary School, we have a Parent Center here at Lilburn Middle School. And I will do my best to continue the great service that Kyla and Ivan have been providing from Rockbridge, that Amanda has been providing at Nesbitt, and Lucy at Lilburn Elementary School. And just look forward to sort of taking that baton from them and continuing to try to support you. We also, like those schools, have the plan and the promise, and we did mention that we do want your children to read at least 30 minutes each night. We also have a program to help our students with their reading ability. We do want them to, and I'm guessing this will continue into the next year. We will talk more about next year at next Thursday's Title I planning meeting, and I'll send out the link for that. But Achieve 3000 is a program that we want the students to use to improve their reading ability. We also use, just as the elementary schools and the high schools, My Payments Plus is where a lot of the where our Title I documents are housed, and we do want you to sign off on those Title I documents before the start of the school year. But also it's where you will make payments for different things. Right now, our 8th graders, their families are paying for some programming that we have at the end of middle school. Our principal, Dr. Irish, started this wonderful program when she first started at the helm of Lilburn Middle School, called Inform with Irish, which is a monthly opportunity for Dr. Irish and special guests to interact with families. And it's usually virtual. Sometimes we'll have the meetings in person, and it's just a great way to stay up to date with the latest and greatest at Lilburn Middle School. And there's always some great information you can learn to help your child succeed at school. I also produce a weekly newsletter and send that out through email and Parent Square. So please make sure to check that out. There's lots of information in that, as well as other emails and messages that you get from the school. We do have active social media accounts in our school website. We've got the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now X, Threads, and some others. So that's a great way to find out what's going on at Lilburn Middle School. Miss Salazar mentioned Miss Fertney mentioned our free and reduced priced meals application. I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the chat as well. And if you think you might qualify, and most of our families do qualify for a free or reduced price lunch, we would love for you to fill that out when that application is available sometime in mid-July. Excuse me 1 second. So let me put that link in the chat. I know it was on the screen a little while ago, but here is that application for lunch. So let's see, the PTSA, Parent Teacher Student Association, we've had a very successful program, and we're always looking to continue that. The PTSA hosts things like our International Night, Spirit Nights, whether it's Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or Papa John's. We've had skate nights this year. PTSA also supports our Teacher Appreciation, which is coming up. So we would love for your support with that. And just know that there is no time commitment required if you join. A simple $8 membership supports the school. Every $8 supports the school, and if we think about the number of families that we have, if everybody contributes that $8, we can provide a lot more experiences and resources for our students. But if you would like to help out at school, there are definitely lots of opportunities, whether through the PTSA or volunteering in the media center, chaperones for field trips, interpreting for different events, coming for career day. Also, if you own a business and perhaps want to support our school in some way, we do have a business partner recognition program. And if you'll drive by our marquee, our electronic marquee in front of the school, you can see some of those businesses and organizations listed that have supported our school. And there are some easy ways to support Lilburn Middle School through the Kroger and Publix. Both have programs where if you swipe the card and attach your account to our school will receive a donation with every purchase. And I will put that in the chat in a little bit. And then finally, very important, we do want to make sure that you do fill out an evaluation of this program so that we continue to improve these kinds of meetings for you all. So I'm putting that in the chat right now. Okay, all right, thank you. And then I'll turn it back over to our 6th grade team.
All right. Well, this is time. If you have any questions that we have not answered, you can type it in the chat. Hopefully, we have someone watching the chat, as well as you can unmute and ask a question as well.
So I'm looking at the chat real quick. I did see a question. Wait a second. They asked if soccer was for boys and girls.
Yes, soccer is we have a boys team and a girls team.
Very good. Okay. Looking. It's only question so far. There's a lot of messages in the chat. Okay. Is the summer math and reading required? So yes, so the math and reading assignments will be a grade when they come to us in August. So if they have not completed those assignments, then one of their first grades in math and language arts will unfortunately be a 0. So we really want to make sure that our students are completing those assignments over their summer. Yes, yeah, they are required. Okay. Let's see. Mr. Doyne, someone was asking, is there a recording of this meeting? And you answered already, yes. Okay. Art club.
Oh, we answered that one as well.
Okay, so no, we don't have an art club, but it is a possibility in the future. And that's it.
I saw one, yes, teachers will, when you come to school, you will not get lost. We will have people out there. And then when you come for open house, you will also get to see where your teachers are located at and things like that. But of course, we'll be out there to guide you. So don't worry about getting lost. We'll make sure you get where you need to be.
Okay, so let's see. How can I get more information about putting my son in soccer? And then is there best time to sign my son up for soccer?
We have the summer camps over the summer, so that will be great. If he can go ahead and join our summer camp. We will send this recording out so that way you can pause it and get the QR code if you want to go ahead and sign him up for that. And then we will get the information to the coaches and they'll continue communicating with you.
Okay, and then how much does basketball cost?
Basketball was $60, and that's because it's from 9 to 2. And they also provide lunch.
Okay, this one I'm not quite sure. How do I know in what group of ISO? I'm not sure what she's asking.
That's ESOL.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so your your child's English language proficiency score from their access test determines what level of ESOL support that they will receive. So it's really, we haven't gotten those scores back yet. But when we do get them back in May, that is when we will place your child in their to receive their ESOL support. So it really depends on your child's scores that we receive in May. But you will find out when you come.
Additionally, I'll add to that, Ms. Fertney.
Oh, okay.
We also evaluate student performance. So the scores are a starting point for us, but sometimes they're not necessarily a true indication of student ability with the language. So we will also evaluate when they come in, and teachers are able to speak into that placement. If they feel like a student, like Ms. Cook spoke about earlier with our gifted students, sometimes it's by way of the students, teachers recognizing something in them that may not have been indicated on the test score. And so we keep all of those points in mind and can make some changes to placement as we see fit throughout the course of the school year.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, is there a date set for open house? So yes, we have July 31st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You will get a letter with lots of information telling you exactly what to do for open house. Okay, so don't worry about it. You'll get lots of information. But July 31st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay.
There's a question from Miss Sierra. She says, my son was evaluated for advanced kids, but he hasn't found out if he was admitted or not. Will he be evaluated again in 6th grade? And I don't know if that's the gifted program she's talking about.
It sounds like it. Okay.
Okay, so by now, you should be receiving something. If not, you will still, because we're giving out letters this week as well. So it is a lengthy process in terms of the testing that takes place. So just reach out again to your assistant principal of 5th grade. They can work with the lead teacher for gifted to see if those letters have, if they've completed the process. But if they do not get into the program at this time, again, we will go through the iReady process and they can be tested next year as a 6th grade.
Ms. Cooks, another parent asks, how can the parent refer the student for gifted?
Just through saying, I would like to have my student evaluated for the gifted program. They can call in to let Mr. Doyne know, or call in to let you know, or call in to let me know, or letting their teachers know. So just get that information to anyone in our school. We'll take that information, and then we'll start the process with all of the pieces of points that we use to qualify them. So just let us know. I would like to have them evaluated.
Yes, and I see a lot of questions for sports. Yes, all players from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So any rising 6th graders, 7th grade, and 8th grade can play. Basketball we have for the girls and the boys. They do not play together. Cheerleading, we can have girls and boys co-ed for cheerleading. Soccer, we have a girls team and a boys team. Cross country, we have a girls and boys, but sometimes they do run the same path. And volleyball is the only one that's for girls.
And Ms. Cooks, here's another question about gifted. My daughter is in elementary school, is in the super dotado, and I'm thinking that's the gifted program. Will she also enter in the gifted program in this school?
Absolutely. Yes, those names are, provided to us, and we are already placing those students through our rising reports. So if they are already gifted, they go right onto our gifted program here at Lilburn Middle.
Perfect, okay. Okay, if you have any other questions, you can put it in the chat or you can unmute and ask. Some great questions, guys.
So I think I can take the unmute the unmute option. I can add that. I haven't added that yet.
Oh.
Okay, well, you can just put it in the chat. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna. Oh, let's see. We have one more message. Okay. Okay, guys. So if you have a question, you can put it in the chat. We're gonna keep it moving.
Okay, so you guys have heard a lot of information tonight. So I want you to give yourself a big pat on the back. This was a long meeting with a lot of information. We know that you are not going to remember everything that you just heard, so there will be repeated opportunities to hear this information. Our goal tonight was to give you a big picture of what happens with our students when they're in middle school. We also had another goal, if you may have picked up on the theme, to invite you to the table and to let you know that you are on this team. We want you to know that, our goals, and we rate very highly on every survey that is given to our staff and our community on 3 areas, and that's cultural acceptance, communication, and high expectations. And that's something that we're very proud of. It does not matter what background our students have. We expect them to meet these high expectations that we have, and we're going to help them to get there, but we cannot do it without your help and your participation. Those who have had children come through Lilburn know that you are part of the team. You also know that we have a very rich and vibrant school community where there is something for everyone to get involved with. So just as we invited your students to find what they're passionate in, if they want to play an instrument, sign up for that course. If they want to learn a foreign language, let us know that. We are inviting you to bring your gifts and your talents to our school community and to let us know where you see yourself fitting in. We need you, and we know that we cannot do our work without you present. But we do ask for a couple of things as we go through next year. We want you to ask questions. Middle schoolers, standard answer to everything is that it is fine or nothing. If you say what happened at school today, nothing. And so you will have to ask those specific questions to get the answers that you need. So we're encouraging you to stay engaged by asking those questions. But we also ask you to trust the process. Looking at the team we have here, we have an amazing leadership team at Lilburn, very experienced group of ladies right now. And I'm looking at the teachers who are on this call, passionate individuals who are doing great work. If you walk into any classroom, you will be so impressed. In fact, last year, we had parents come into the classrooms and just see what's going on. And their minds were blown at what our students are learning. So we know that we have every adult who needs to be at the table. We ask you to trust the process. Sometimes as our kids are in middle school and we're getting feedback, we're getting things told to us that maybe we had never heard before. We realize in middle school that we have 3 short years to make a big difference in your students' lives. And so we're going to be very transparent. We're going to be very open to communication, but we will give you real feedback about what we see happening so that your students can reach their potential. And we ask for the same from you, that if there are areas that you see that we can improve, let us know. But just trust that process. Know that we have your child's best interest in mind. Know that we have very experienced individuals who know some of the tricks of the trades to help get our students to where they need to go. But we also know that you are the expert of your child, and so we do need you to be there. But just that beginning question that I had about the investment, We are openly inviting parents to join our PTSA. We currently are looking to recreate our board for next year. All of those who are on the board this year are meeting their max time on the board. We have one person on the board. She has no children at Lilburn, but she knows that we need to have a board. However, next year she will have to move on to other things that are going on. And our other PTSA person, her student will be matriculating out of Lilburn and going on to high school. So we do need, we need some new faces. You guys are the group where the talent will lie in building our board all over again. So if you want to, invest in our school, consider the PTSA as a good starting point for that. But with that being said, I know it's been a long evening. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but thank you for being here today. And we appreciate you listening and just paying attention to what we were sharing. Thank you for being here.
We do have, thank you, Dr. Irish. I know we do have some other questions in the chat, and we're going to work to get to them. But I will say, since communication is so important with our partnership over the next 3 years, want to make sure that you are receiving our messages. For this meeting, I as the parent instructional coordinator, I work harder to get parents information about this meeting than any other meeting, because this is where it starts this next 3 years. So I did send many emails and text messages this week to every single parent. I won't necessarily do that every time. So if I'll rely more on email and Parent Square. And then I think that's generally what our teachers rely on as well. So if you did not get an email from me, from Michael Doyne, I do want to make sure that we have your email address. So I'll put my email address in the chat. So please make sure to email me or text me if you did not get an email about this meeting, please. All right, and there were some other questions. Let's see. Somebody was asking, is there security in, is the school safe? Is there security in the school? I don't know if one of our administrators or counselors would like to talk about that.
So yes, so we have many cameras all throughout the school that give us access to every part of the school to see what's going on. We have an SRO, which is a Gwinnett County police officer who is stationed with us, Officer Ken. He's a great guy, does a great job. And so yes, that is one of the, in addition to teaching and learning, safety is what we take very seriously here at Lilburn Middle School, because if students do not feel safe, they can't learn. So yes, we will keep your child safe.
And on top of that, we also have 6 assistant principals. When we're walking through the building throughout the day, we're making sure we build those relationships with your students or the students at our school, just so that way they can let us know anything that's going on that we might not be aware of. So we use our students as well to help communicate with what's going on with school, so that way we can make sure that we're on top of everything.
Someone asked about how can I get more information about the camps. So Ms. Fowler, that will be coming out. I've seen that around the school. So will students be getting information about those camps?
Yes, and it's also on our Instagram page. So if you're not a part of our Instagram page, you will want to add that to your feed. And we also have a Facebook page as well that keeps all the updated information.
Can I just go back to the safety comment? So one thing I wanted to add on, I know it was not the most exciting part of the presentation to hear about the rules and the handbook and everything else. We really encourage all families to study that handbook, not because we're so excited about, having rules or giving consequences. That is not what we're excited about, but we understand, just like in a game, if everyone understands the rules that they are to play by, then the game can run smoothly, it can be successful, and people can be safe. But what we see a lot of times with 6th graders is that they're not really clear on the rules. And so maybe things are brought to school that should not be at school. Maybe things are said as a joke that are against the rules. And so someone feels unsafe. And so everyone just needs to understand that rule handbook. That is, when we talk to parents, the number one concern. Will my children be safe? And that's why we emphasize those rules, because if everyone follows those rules, then we will have a safe school. But we just encourage all new incoming parents, whether you're new to the school or just coming up to sixth grade, to make sure that you're familiar with the rule handbook so that your child is helping us to keep our school community safe.
I have a question about from Ms. Fajardo. She's asking, can the teachers send home assignments? What the class where she used the word tema, so that's the course material home, so that we can reinforce that with our children.
Perfect. Okay, this is some great questions, guys. Hopefully we are helping you.
Yes, they will communicate with the parent on what they're learning. They have an e-class page that also lists the upcoming standards that they are working on. Our teachers, they did log off because, you know, they had to work later. So, but yeah, so they will have that information to refer to.
And then the last comment, so when we are looking at consequences, and if your child ends up in the office because they made a bad decision, we do take into account all of the circumstances. We take into account what led up to the event, what happened in the event, who was involved. So we take it very seriously. It is a process. We follow a process before any student receives any consequence. So please understand, we do investigation and we take all circumstances into consideration before applying any consequence.
And we work with our students. We give interventions to help support them so they can be successful. Our whole goal is to help them to become successful citizens, as well as be successful throughout their academic years.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, this is a great question. So what measures do we take regarding bullying? So bullying is actually one of the rules in our handbook, and we take it very, very seriously, especially in sixth grade. You know, they're starting a new school and we're trying to set expectations for middle school. That is something that Ms. Fowler and I take very seriously. So students are advised when they start here at middle school, if they are going through any kind of issue, if anything is bothering them, anything they'd like to share with us, they come to our office and they write a report, and we review those reports quickly and speak with the students and try to figure out what's going on and help them. So please be rest assured that we take bullying very seriously and take all measures to make sure that your child is safe here at Lilburn Middle School. Okay.
Okay, well, if you have any more questions, please, Mr. Dawn is going to give you his email information where we can make sure that you are connected with us, as well as if you have any other questions, we can answer it at a later time. All right, team, are y'all ready to end with our Mustang pride?
Let's do it.
We are ready.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, parents, join us if you feel comfortable. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. At Lilburn Middle School,
We
are
positive,
Positive,
We are
respectful.
We
We
have
have integrity.
We are
are
determined.
determined, and we are engaged.
And why do we have
Why do we have pride? Because our success depends on it.
Woo!
I promise you, it sounds much better in person.
Well, okay, guys, thank you so much for giving us your time and taking the time to learn more about the sixth grade middle school experience. We are so excited to meet you guys in August, and we hope you have a great rest of the school year.
Bye, have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
And don't forget to fill out that survey if you haven't already done so. I will be sending out the recording through email soon. And I'm going to turn off the interpretation just so we can have everybody back in and thank our interpreters.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, the interpretation is now off, so we now have everybody in the same room.
Así ya todos estamos juntos.
Tất cả tất cả thông viên đã nghỉ.
Ya se cerró la cabina de interpretación.
And I think I will. Yeah, I'm putting I'm putting the survey in. Okay. Okay. Sí, apenas, señor Salinas, apenas publiqué la encuesta ahí. I just put the survey in there.
La encuesta ahí está en la casilla del chat. Por
Yes,
favor.
Mới
yes.
bỏ vào cái survey để hỏi phụ huynh là thấy cái buổi họp này như thế nào. Phụ huynh có thể cho biết ý kiến để chúng tôi làm tốt hơn. Xin cảm ơn.
Con el mayor gusto, señora Vilma Realejeno.
All right. So good. So I think just to encourage more people to fill out that survey, I might hang on just for a few moments.
Entonces,
Go
una
ahead,
vez más
John.
los invitamos a por favor llenar esta encuesta. Es muy importante para nosotros. Es una encuesta rápida. Nos ayuda mucho para estas presentaciones hacia el futuro.
I think I will stop the recording if I can find that button. Oh yeah.